I'm going to do a swipe today, and I'm going to do a swipe with silver. And this one was my swipe with gold that I did the other week. You can see how that's beautiful and shiny, and it's dry now. So that was Sergeant's gold. I don't have any Sergeant's silver, so I thought I'd try the Artist Loft silver. See how that went. So I'm using my same pouring medium as I always do, 70% glue, 30% water. But this swipe is going to be 1.5 times pouring medium to 1 part paint. So what I've done is in my cups, and they're all the same, metallic as well, I have got 50 grams of pouring medium and about 35 to 37 grams of paint. This one I had to do 1-to-1 because it was really quite thin. So I did 1.5 to 1 and it was really thin. Couldn't even see a little mound. I like a tiny little mound. That's that one, Clear Day. So I've made that one 1-to-1. And the rest of them are all 1.5 to 1. So let's get the oil in, treadmill silicone. And how about we do, oh goodness, how many? 1, 2. Well, let's do 3, but not in the black and not in the swipe colour, the silver. And give that a bit of a stir, probably around about 5 times ish. Okay, now I've got my bit of plastic ready to swipe with. You can use a like a folder divider, you know, those clear plastic sheets that you can get. This was a document holder that I've just cut up. Right, so I think I'll do the silver in the center, and then I'll swipe this way and I'll swipe that way. But I'm not going to leave a space, because what I want to do is I want to do some balloon dips in the middle. And I've noticed if I just have silver, when I dip, obviously there's no colours to come out, so that's why I'm going to put my stripe over the top instead of making a separate space for it. I did make up a tiny bit of extra navy. I find that the navy gets lost, so I made up a little bit of extra navy, and I've cut down on that pale blue. Because it's a light swipe, it's silver, I need darker colours underneath. So if you're doing a dark swipe, you need lighter colours underneath, and if you're doing a light swipe, you need dark colours underneath. It just makes your cells look prettier if you've got that lovely contrast between light and dark. So pop those on. And I've got a little bit of black. I don't want a lot of black. Maybe just a little bit there, a little bit there. Actually, no, let's do a little bit more, but just thin. Just do thin stripes. Like so. So my colours are, that mid blue was cool blue and cobalt mixed together, and I've shown you the light blue. The dark one is my deep space, and then I've got the black and, as I said, the Artist Loft for the swipe. Now I've made this silver the same consistency, it's 1.5 to 1. So normally when I swipe I do 2 to 1, but today I'm just going to see what happens if I, whoops, hang on to that, what happens if I make my paint a little bit thicker and then my swipe colour a little bit thinner. I'm going to see if my cells will maybe hold their shape a little bit better. So a bit of an experiment today. Let me get that out of the way. I'm sure I'm going to knock that over. So you can see that my paint is thicker. It's flowing a lot slower than it normally would when I'm doing my tilting for my swipes. So I'm not sure how it's going to work, but we'll see. Hey, I like to experiment. I don't like it when my cells are a beautiful shape to begin with. Oh, it's raining. And then the mix is too thin so that they keep growing and growing and growing, and then they're all out of shape and wobbly. So that's what I'm trying to avoid. It's a bit loud, isn't it, that rain? Nice to cool it down. It's been so hot this week. It's been really humid. I think there's another cyclone off the coast up north, so whenever that happens we get hammered with rain. So hopefully everyone can still hear me okay. I don't have a, oh yes, I do have a tin roof. I'm in the garage in my studio and I've got a tin roof, so there's a song about a tin roof, isn't there? Rusted. I never knew what that word was. I could never quite hear it, and I had to replay it and replay it and replay it, and I still couldn't hear it. Rusted. Like, weird. And then I had to Google it and actually look it up. This was years ago. Now, a little bit of silver, not too much. And then I'm going to put another little bit here. Oops, scraped my cup in the paint. There we go. A little bit of silver. Right. Got my bit of paper towel ready to catch my plastic. And I better just mark this so I know where it was. So when I turn it around, I'll remember where to put it. Keep it in frame for you. Okay, so make sure you put one foot behind the other. Very important, because once you start dragging towards you, if your feet are next to each other, you're going to fall over. And then drag. And I just wipe off my bit of plastic, like so. And then a little card. I always forget my little card to do the sides. Always do. Never mind, just a little paint chip card from the hardware store. This is a Dulux. Let's catch that edge there. You don't have to do this. Right, let's turn it around. And that side's being used, so I'm going to flip it over and use the clean side. Make sure one foot's in front of the other again. Just touch your silver and drag the silver across the other colours. Got something in there, something in my silver. I think it's little dried bits from around the top of the bottle and they fall in. I have to get my tweezers. Oh, bamboo skewer will do. So this mix is, oops, come out, get out of my paint. I think that's the only little blob. Still looking a little bit thick there. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to balloon dip in the centre. So that's why I've got the paint underneath in the middle rather than just having a plain silver band there, so that when I do dip, then I can get the colours up from underneath. Okay, I think that looks okay. Hopefully it's not going to be too thick. I know I'm not going to get any cells right in the middle. That's okay. But I do want cells down here. So let's give it a light torching and see what happens. See lots of little bubbles being popped. Metallics don't look really pretty when they're wet, do they? You have to wait till they dry to get the full effect. Just going to give that a minute. I'm going to wipe down here so I can see where the edge of my cookie cooling rack is, because the paint flows right over it onto the rack and sometimes you can't see where the edge is. Well, those cells are pretty. So this is the difference between having a slightly thicker mix and a thinner mix. When your cells pop up, they're more round. They will keep growing. Let's see if I can get some more cells. Just a few more. Don't know if I will because this metallic is quite thick. Have a look at that. So they look quite nice. As I said, they will continue to grow. Don't really like this blue showing through here, so I'm going to just swipe over that like so. I'd rather just have it plain than have those messy looking cells there. Okay, so while that's contemplating life, I'm going to get out my next bit of paper towel and lay it down here in readiness for my balloon dip. So I don't want too many cells. Admittedly, I would have liked them to come up a little bit further and only have a small band in the middle, but that's okay. The balloon dips in the center will create some interest there, and then down here we'll have the cells. So I have blown up a little balloon. Well, it was a big balloon, happy birthday balloon, but I've only just blown it up a little way because I don't want it too firm. I like it to be a little bit on the soft side, the spongy side. So I'll hang on to this top bit, and I think I'll just sort of go, I don't want them in a straight line, I'm going to sort of go zigzag like so. Where to start, where to start? Oh, just about here. I'll wipe that off. So because there's no cells around that, I'm not going to get those petals. I'm only going to get like a spray. Actually, I might do two-handedly and just see. Go back to my pushing down two-handedly and doing a circle and coming back up. That's what I tend to do. I don't know why I didn't. It's because I've got something to hold on to, you see. I only use one hand, but I'll go back to my usual way. So press down, round in a circle, come back to the middle and up. Oh, see, I got a couple of cells on that one. That's why the cells have turned into petals. Now it's quite blobby in the middle because there's quite a lot of paint, especially the silver that's quite thick, so I will go over it again with my balloon and just take a little bit of that paint off. So if I do another one there, and then there, and then there, actually I might start up here, that way I know where I'm going, round, back up. Oh, that's brought up some of that light blue. It's pretty. And then over here to incorporate this blob. Around and up. So I'm wiping the balloon off so that I'm getting some of the paint off. Actually, I probably don't need another one. I might actually change to my glove and see if I can make them a little bit bigger so that these two can smush together a little bit more. See, I can, because this glove is so much softer, I can actually spread it out more. That's why I do prefer the gloves, because they're so squishy, you know, they're really good. So I'll do that. I can actually really squish it down. And I get a much better, well, I think it's a much better result than with the glove. Here comes the rain again. Oh, that's a pretty one. So there we go. I'm going to leave it at 4. I wonder if I can just, what happens if I just touch the middle? No, don't do that. And I'm going to have to go again. Put some paint back in that one. Alright, let's leave it at that. I think that's quite pretty, hey? I don't normally like doing odd numbers, but I just felt as if I couldn't fit another one in there. Unless I go down here, but then it's, no, it's just a bit off centre there. That will do. Close enough, isn't it? It's raining. Okay. I think that's really pretty. And I'm not going to torch again. I have in the past torched again after I've done my flowers, and then I've got cells in my flowers, and I don't like that. I prefer cells to be cells, flowers to be flowers. So let's take you in for a close-up. Actually, before I do that, I did this one earlier and I videoed it, but I don't think I'll put it up because it's not as pretty, but I will show you. Now that one was 2 to 1. 2 parts pouring medium, 1 part paint. Can you see how the cells have sort of overstretched and they've lost their round shape? Especially up on your right in the middle there. See how those have gone all wonky? Now look at these. These are pretty much going to stay. There's a little bit of wonkiness here, but the rest of the cells are pretty good. So can you see the difference? So that's the difference of your consistency. So if you're getting wonky cells, your mix is too thin. Now let me get my gloves off. And I'll take you in for a close-up. It's interesting, isn't it, to see the difference that the consistency makes. These cells, I mean, they're not as good cells as